No, I mean the real Thais Danikir, not you.
Oh. Oh, okay.
The real Thais Danikir. So you're standing around the camp, and you look at Theus there on the ground. His body is mangled up. You okay. So you get in the vehicle and you drive through these crystal-like shards sticking out of the sand. The atmosphere is as usual, tan, sort of covered in these sandstorms. The sun is glittering through and everything is bathed in an orange-yellow light. As you look up on the skies, it is somewhere up there through the sandstorm. There's a clear sky. You get in the vehicle, and with your experience, you drive back to the palace city. We're going to do everything very quickly because there isn't much going on. You've killed the heretics. You have retrieved the keys. In front of Sarwak's palace, you see a dispatch of inquisitorial agents. Some of them are talking to the yeoman officials. Some of them are talking to senatorium members. They quickly start to get into their vehicles and get ready when you arrive. And getting out of the vehicle, do an introduction. So you can go ahead and describe your character, Victor, as you step out into bright sunlight. What do people see when they look at you?
1 second, I'm chewing on something. So, Victor walks out of the vehicle, and as you normally do, there's some differential difference between Victor being on a vehicle and Victor not being on a vehicle because of his hefty weight and so. So he walks out of the vehicle, kind of hunchback, slouched. He has really poor posture, probably because of the fact that he does weigh so much that it probably puts a lot of strain on what organic pieces he does still have left. He's still donning his traditional green cloak that the people have grown to love, and although not being a proper attire of somebody from the Mechanicus, he's kind of an oddball himself. He still wearing his cloak upright and his hood over his head, and still wearing his mask that he keeps to cover his face.
Awesome. Thank you. Great description. James.
As James steps out of the vehicle, you actually you see what appears you to be a Kriegsman through and through, except on his shoulder you see the Medicae insignia, and you kind of see that he has what looks to be a chameleon cloak draped over him, along with what seems to be like kind of like a black box, almost belted to his waist. You would know it's a strummer. And you can see that there's a really huge dent in the Imperial Guard flak armor that Doc is wearing. You can see like a huge crater. It looks like a great sword may have crushed the chest piece a little inwards. But you can see the armor is well beat up. You can see a few last burns on it. You can see a huge hole going through the left shin guard. You can see that a patch job has been applied to it. So some kind of putty like substance has been smeared on it to kind of create a stopgap hole. And yeah, you'd see a pretty beat up Kriegsman. But if the masks were taken off, you would actually see that this really isn't, your normal Kriegsman. You wouldn't even say he's even close to what a model Kriegsman would look like with pale skin and all that. He actually has like a farmer's tan, green eyes, and then long dark black hair that is tied up into almost like a top knot that is hidden behind his mask and his helmet.
Awesome. As everyone steps out, the vehicle fills with a thick fog of exhaust and industry. You look around and you see one of the yeoman guards with a baton beating zealots laying on the ground that are trying to get to the inquisitorial vessels to seek your blessing. As Logan steps out. What do you look like?
Logan is a large, towering man, a Goliath, and has plugs over his body and the back of his head. He carries a large chain axe, and generally not what you expect from a psyker. He has a very brown mohawk and beard as well.
Excellent. And it's evident when people look at you that that you've been in that you are a telepath, or you're in the Astra Telepathica. Is that something people can see when they look on you, or would they assume that you're a warrior or soldier?
Probably assume that I'm more of a warrior than a telepath. Given the many plugs are also from Goliath augmentation, the telepathical ones kind of blend in.
Excellent.
So apart from the actual mark that's on my chest under my armor.
Beautiful. Callus.
Yes, you see next the priestly figure leaving the vehicle, wearing his protective armor with his visor raised and priestly robes under it, braziers on both of his shoulders lighting up in splendorous glory. You'd see, however, that his physique, his appearance is a bit diminished, rotten away, either by stress or previous events.
Nice. Beautiful. Beautiful. And you look over the stone surface of the plaza. The inquisitorial vehicles drive off. And as one of the vehicles move, you see a figure standing behind the vehicle. In fact, two. One of them comes walking out of the Imperial Plaza. What does your character look like, Callus? Stefan.
Oh, wow, that's right. Okay. Stefan would wear his inquisitorial issue robes, and his uniform would be to a T, perfect to a T. He would move as he would be a robotic toy soldier. It's too forced, a bit taking measure to never step a bit too out of line of procedural presentation to superior officers. He would wear his trench coat, Imperial issue trench coat, with a vest and t-shirt. His t-shirt, shirt. He would also wear standard issue navy jeans, as per standard issue uniform served above the inquisitorial ship. Yeah.
All right, and I'm gonna hand it over to you guys. Anything you want to say or say to each other before you leave? You have received a message that a vessel will pick you up on Port Mire. The yeomanry is standing by to escort you.
I look over Callus. Do you think maybe we should peruse the archives one more time?
Although I appreciate your thoroughness, I believe that everything we've done up until now should be more than enough. If we are to intervene any further, I believe that the planetary governor will surely consider this to be rude. Although I do have some curiosities left on this planet, I feel like we haven't fully exhausted all the mysteries that are present here. Oh well, our job is most likely done already. It's quite unfortunate. All that is left, I believe, is to head upstairs and present our reports. You know, your favorite paperwork scenario. Lots and lots of paperwork.
I understand, Callus. What about you, Victor? Is there anything you think we might need to peruse the archives one more time?
I just want to get off this godforsaken rock. It's too bright here.
Nice.
That's a shame. I wanted to find out what a beach was.
Doc nods his head again and looks to Logan, the newest of his new associates. And what do you think, Logan? Do you think it might be worth it to peruse the archives one last time?
Well, to be fair, I haven't exactly perused any archives, but I am enjoying this planet. Is there anything important within them?
What is your obsession with the archive?
I just think that maybe if we dig through some Imperial records, it would help us later on.
Well, I'm sure if you put a query with the Inquisitor, the Archive Administratum would most surely be willing to share whatever they have with us. Although I am quite ashamed to say, say that I was not able to secure that during our negotiations.
I am pretty sure that the Inquisition has on record any information that we had access to.
Victor does prove a good point.
Like always.
And as modest as always, I might add.
Victor, you get an inspiration point. And with that, the warband gets in their vehicle and drives off. You still have your black, sleek van with an autocannon sticking out of the back on a rail assembled by the expert tech priest, Victor.
It's inside of the van. It's incognito.
Yeah. As you get in, you sort of sit behind the machine, and those of you who walk over to it just get a kind of a negative sound from the binary voice of the machine spirit as you try to activate the autocannon, as Victor probably gleefully smiles in your direction.
Could you tell the machine's name?
The machine's name is Felicity.
God damn it. I really thought it was the mystery machine.
I want to go up to the... James approaches the autocannon and whispers lovingly, "Felicity, I shall use you very quickly." And I try to rip the autocannon off its mount.
Okay, you oh god. Okay, James, you like rattle the railing and you jam it shut. So now it's impossible to kind of drag it back and forth and aim the autocannon.
Dude,
Did you just ruin my autocannon van?
did you just mess with a tech priest?
Doc
At this
slowly
point-
turns his head back to look at Victor. Victor, I am so sorry, but I think I have fucked up the autocannon.
Like, if you could see Victor's face right now, the shock and disappointment that has elevated him to a state of response
You would see
Real tense.
Victor
You see
is going
Doc
to
just
pull
standing
out
there.
both of his manipulator mechadendrites,
Uh-oh.
and he's going to forcibly rip the autocannon out of his hand and just chuck it in the back.
With a loud. Sorry.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
So with an intense, quick motion, Victor stands up, his eyes glowing with hatred, pulls the entire autocannon off the railing, and screws fly everywhere, landing in your lap, James, as Victor clinches the autocannon, holding it in his lap.
You'd see Callus make a saluting gesture as another one of his comrades has fallen. His heart too jaded to feel any more emotions.
Cabby and I were the only ones who were accepted to fire it anyways, so...
Yep. You get an inspiration point, Victor. After driving for 5 days, you reach the bridge. The bridge is populated by former serfs and workers of the nobles, and they aren't dangerous. I want you to roll a d100.
Oh, nice. I'll do the honors if you don't mind. Oh, okay. Victor is okay. Nah, Victor is good.
Nice. To those who are new, this is rolling for random encounters.
Oh.
That'd be funny if we rolled high and then got a deadly encounter and then
Shit.
died on the intermission.
You should have.
Without the autocannon.
I'm hoping you don't do that. So roll again, guys. You reach the main island. You're very close to Port Mire.
Damn it.
Excellent. And you
What do you
drive
mean, damn it?
around the coast, looking out to the ocean. You know Port Mire is close. It's just 1 day away. As you camp out one starry night, I want you to roll a d100.
It's on you, It's on you, Callus.
Okay.
I'm spooning with the autocannon, trying to soothe the affected machine spirit that got ripped out.
Oh, nice.
Ooh. Excellent. Okay.
Free money.
Well. Well. Let us see here.
Oh, damn, he turned the music off. Oh, shit.
Guys. I want you... So it's a starry night, you're sort of stargazing, looking up at them. You turn off the lights in the vehicles. You park them just to cool them down. You've been driving for 2 weeks. Your yeoman patrol next to you kind of give you a salute. And I want you to roll an awareness test.
I'm gonna use nothing as checked my side.
Minus 20.
All of us?
All of you.
Oh god.
I will use nothing as checks my sight and succeed with 2 degrees of success.
I'm gonna re-roll that with a minus 10.
I'm gonna... Can I use my silver
Aha!
spell?
Good job, Victor.
Yeah, you
Nice.
can use your inspiration.
Oh, never mind.
Wow. Good job, everyone. Victor and Callus. You look over at the... So it's kind of a cold, there's a chill in the air as you look over to where the vehicle... although the lights are dim, they're kind of lighting up a little mound. Out from behind the mound, you suddenly see a large humanoid figure with long arms slowly walking as he takes a half circle and moves in your direction.
As Callus is sucking on his box juice, he nudges Victor. Hey, is that normal?
Victor is going to pull out his optical mechacandrite, and about how many meters is it away?
About 40 meters away.
Ah, convenient. I'm going to start scanning it and trying to get a read on it.
Excellent. You get an inspiration point. And what kind of details can you get with this scan?
If it resembles any known life forms that inhabit this planet, because I'm pretty sure at some point I kind of tried to find a bestiary of things known.
It is not a life form at all. There is nothing there.
When I look at it through thermo, does it pop up or does it seem cold?
Nothing.
This entity is unknown.
As Victor kind of says questioningly, because he finally came across something he is not aware of.
You'd see Callus raise an eyebrow. It's there, right? Like, you do see what I'm pointing at.
Elongated arms, humanoid
Yep.
posture.
Yep.
Interesting.
Should we wait the others?
It is your call. It does not seem hostile at the moment.
Does it not seem hostile?
As the creature turns around, it starts walking towards you when you hear a booming voice. Stop!
Oh. I look around. Where does the voice come from?
The creature.
I look at Victor. Did it
May
just
I ask?
What?
did it just start?
I am unaware.
It interrupts you. We have spoken before in another form.
Oh.
My goodness.
The creature appears into the light. It is an Eldar.
At that point, Victor is going into full battle.
Callus would be like, alarm!
The creature will again sound out, wait! As it holds out its arm. We are unable to reach your Inquisitor directly. Tell him that we know the source of the corruption, and will reveal it if he does not stray from the path.
Stray from the
Would we trust anything that comes from your mouth?
The creature continues to walk towards you.
Hey, listen, man, don't come any closer. I used to have a left arm. Or a right arm. Checking his arms again.
I'm gonna assume that we would hear this, like the alarm and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you would hear this.
Everyone hears this. The voice is extremely loud. And so you kind of look over in that direction, and as you try to inspect it closer, the light seems to just go through it. It doesn't quite capture the light.
Can I...
As it takes another step, you see it kind of makes a covering pose, and in one brief second you see right above you a gun cutter appear from the clouds. Then you see a hail of bullets strafing the alien. It immediately jumps away, and you see it kind of roll behind the rock as gunfire follows it. The gun cutter kind of hovers above you for a second, drives over your vehicle, and lands. A magnetic hook attaches to your roof, and a ramp slowly descends from the back. The yeoman guards at this point are taking cover behind their vehicle, guns drawn.
I immediately rise up to the situation and stream orders like, okay, everybody, starting from the left to the right, keep your spacing. Do not move unless I tell you so. And making sure that they're disciplined and they have their weapons trained on that creature's last known position.
Excellent. At the back of the ramp, a man wearing a flak armor appears. He's holding a strap on the back, and it's his hand reached out to grab you as he kind of braces up against the ramp. The ramp reaches the ground. The inquisitorial gun cutter has a seal on the door. Recognize it. What do you do?
Doc's gonna unpack pack up his gear, and he's just gonna start putting his gear into the gun cutter.
What is the seal on the gun cutter?
The seal is a seal of the Inquisition itself.
Oof, okay.
Is
Boys
he
and
out
girls.
of the vehicle yet?
No, I'm assuming you are all have left the vehicle at this point.
No, I'm saying the guy that was in the gun cutter has he
No,
left
he's
the vehicle?
leaning up against the back of the vehicle, and it's kind of like a Chinook helicopter. So the back of it has opened up, and it has formed a ramp down to the ground.
Okay.
Callis would say, okay, to the yeomanry, okay, you guys know your training, you got it from here, and she run up into the gun cutter with his gear.
Okay. What do the rest of you do?
Victor will kind of turn towards the rock where the Eldar went, and kind of back towards the helicopter that apparently has something to do with the... but he will reluctantly, still with his mechanical mechanendrites and anything else he has at the ready drawn in case something turns south.
Okay. As you walk up to the ship, the inquisitorial seal reflects in the light from the lunar globe in the ship. And what do the rest of you do?
I'm probably gonna, as I'm backing up towards the ship, I'm gonna try something, science, what is it? I can't pronounce it, dyslexia.
Cyanescence?
Science?
Senescence.
Yes, it's
Senescence.
basically feeling through the warp as I'm backing up.
Ah, Logan, you reach out with your hand. At this point, Victor is strapped in, James strapped in the vehicle. Logan, you reach out with your hand, and you feel an immense presence of the warp.
How immense and what direction?
Straight ahead and very powerful.
The one that we just saw, the alien? God, if I had telepathy. I'm basically gonna turn around and slowly walk towards the gun cutter. I seem much less on guard than the others, because I have a feeling he could do much worse to us if he really wanted to.
As you step aboard, you feel the presence of the warp is on board the ship.
On board the ship?
Yes.
Is it Icarus?
Can I pinpoint it?
Somewhere on the ship. Or around it, attached to it.
So it's moved.
Yes.
Seems our friend may be moving with us.
Have no fear.
As soon as the word friend is brought up, I look at...
No, he doesn't say it out loud. That's what he's thinking.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's what he's thinking, and he basically tries to look around, keeping on guard. Wait, there's no way he could have gotten on the ship, so he's gonna basically sit down, still on guard, waiting.
Would I notice that Logan is slightly worried?
Would he, Logan?
Oh, he's physically looking around like he's very unsure. Like he does not seem comfortable like he normally is.
Logan, what seems to be the matter?
disturbance in the warp.
As he says this, I pull out my frag grenade and I say, "Do you still feel a disturbance in the warp?"
He looks towards the frag grenade and he's like, you know what? Suddenly I do not.
Perfect. I put the grenade away. Let's carry on with our mission.
Got it. Who's not on the ship? Anyone left behind? Everyone is there.
No, everyone should be on the ship.
Excellent.
I am going to take up my optical and start scanning to see if there are other life forms inside of the vehicle aside from the one person. Like how many pilots there are.
At that point, the man with the flak armor already left into the main hangar of the ship. As you pull up your scan, what does it scan for?
It's a basic aspects, right?
I think
So it would be chemical, radiation. If you roll with a Tethys, you can see through walls, I believe.
I'd have to look up the specific nature of the optical.
Okay. The ship takes off. You feel gravity sort of give in. Your feet glue to the ground. It is kind of a grit, or kind of a grid, metal grid on the ground. The seats are lined up against the wall. There is what you might imagine seat belts. Kind of strap yourselves in. The ship starts shaking as it lifts off the ground. You look out the small, round windows, and you see the surface, the shimmering surface, lit up by moonlight. You see the ocean as you say goodbye to Avent. The hatch is closed.
Is there a cogitator on the gun cutter? Or some type of
There is
anything
a
that can print?
cogitator next to the window. But
Okay,
you have
cool.
to stay sort of strapped in. At least for the takeoff right now.
Okay.
So the optical has infrared with a range of 40 meters.
Oh,
The
so
range
it's
of
not
40
that.
meters, okay. And alright, what happens?
Well, Victor,
Oh,
good.
The individual you know as Icarus will enter the loading bay.
Oh.
Welcome, acolytes. I've been awaiting this meeting for some time.
A massive amount of unease washes over Victor as he kind of remembers the voice of Icarus, although a brief meeting, but also remembers the thing Jericho warned him about. And he kind of just slowly creeps his head in, looking at Icarus in his periphery.
A chiseled-faced, classically handsome male with slicked back black hair enters the room. He is tall and usually athletic, and he wears a skin suit made of dark blue chainmail-like material with gauntlets, a series of separate bands circling his sleeves, and some unique glyph on his chest. He has several silver designs running up his suit, and has a square on his belt with the Imperial Aquila. His boots are made of the same material as his suit.
What pleasure do we have meeting an Inquisitor aboard the ship to meet us?
Well, the pleasure is all mine. I've been watching you for some time. I've been waiting for the appropriate time to speak with you.
You currently have us locked in a box right now, so I guess right now is the best opportune time to do that.
I agree. So, how often do you interact with Eldar acolytes?
It's at least 2 times a month by this point.
More than I would like to admit.
Personally, it is the first time.
Have you ever asked yourselves the question, why do we keep interacting with aliens?
Well, is it not our job, since we're the Ordos Xenos, to rid the glorious land of the Imperium of them?
Ah, yes. Then
Although-
why is it you did not eradicate the one in front of you?
Well, I presume that getting our reports and informing our Inquisitor of our main mission takes prejudice.
I would like to also redirect the question to you. It did get away.
Yes, that is because rescuing you was more important.
You think we are incapable of handling a single elder? That is quite hurtful that you think we're such lowly of us.
Well, from what I felt, it was rather strong.
What message did this Eldar have for your Inquisitor, might I ask?
Oh, yes, he most eloquently...
Wait, no. At this point, Victor is going to raise his hand from his cloak and put it in front of Callus.
I think the words the Eldar had were for our Inquisitor and our Inquisitor alone.
And does that not pose a question?
I will leave that up for Castor to decide.
Oh, really? So your Inquisitor tasking you with the eradication of aliens, you entrust him to relay messages through said aliens. Is that the understanding that you wish me to have?
I want you to have the understanding that I put more faith in Castor than I do you, Icarus.
Perhaps we can change that.
I highly doubt.
He pulls out a hollow projector.
Yes. On the ground, you will see with a... and you will run the diagnostic on this program, Victor. It is authentic. The event that you're watching has happened. You
And it's
see-
untampered with, I presume.
Huh?
It's not tampered, the video, in
There
any
is
way.
no way. So this is something you can look at the code and authenticate it. It's absolutely real.
Mhm.
The image that you're seeing is Castor Tythe standing in front of an Eldari, discussing, gesturing back and forth. And you see it kind of from the vantage point of a surveillance camera. Up in the air, it seems to be vibrating slightly as the hologram shifts and moves. It is indeed Castor Tythe.
Well, it's Castor Typh as we see it. I mean,
Yes.
Icarus could have easily taken the form of Castor Typh and played this whole thing out.
From my... I'd like to ask Icarus. Please, Inquisitor Icarus, what is your planet of origin, by any chance? If you're willing to tell me.
So he would tell you, or do you want to tell the truth or a lie? First of all, no.
At this point, I'm willing to tell the truth, unless I
Okay.
think that,
It would line up with the planet that you're wondering, Octavian.
No! The one that got exterminatus?
Yes.
Are you asking me that or the
No,
GM?
the gym.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. I see.
But it is a massive planet, or rather was, in the system.
Is it safe to assume you might also have a vindictive purpose with Typhus for previous events? I am aware of what happened to your homeworld and who is responsible.
My personal interest in the Inquisitor is of no consequence. His claim of puritanical beliefs is nothing more than a falsehood.
With a concerned look, he asked, "Do you know one named Carius Road?" He... No.
Do I know that name?
Morten?
GM.exe has stopped working.
Check the stat. Check the chat. Check the chat.
Sorry.
Send you a PM. No,
Ooh,
no
where?
man.
Oh. Sure, why not? That is I.
You are Carius Road.
I do not believe I stutter.
Well, I am quite shocked, as you might sure. Well, as I open my arms and look to my other compatriots, well, fellow party members, I'm happy to say that we have another fellow acolyte of the one and only Caster himself. One of
At that comment, you see him pull a Rosarius out from underneath his armor.
sorry. You know, we used to be colleagues at some point, I presume. But why would the most feverous critic of our Inquisitor just happen to, not kidnap? I wouldn't say kidnap. This isn't a kidnapping, of course. But take us away. Rescue us, as you called it. Just at this nick of time. One would say that you work hand in hand with the Xenos. The timing is a bit just too perfect.
Timing is perfect because I planned it as such. I have been monitoring communique between your Inquisitor and the aliens. It is the Eldar who are waiting to pick you up at port.
Oh, I'm quite flattered. I didn't think my first stalker will be an Inquisitor. Not only that, now I find out that I'm in the spotlight of the Eldar. And I say, Victor, I believe I've talked enough. I believe you outran me in this situation.
My question is that why should we believe anything that comes from your mouth? This hologram does not seem to be altered, but we are familiar with your particular skill set. How do we not know that you merely are trying to destroy the name of Caster Typh with your illusion?
Oh, he has put more than enough effort into destroying his own name. Unfortunately, as an Inquisitor, he has extreme access to extreme assets in order to cover said efforts. I care less whether you believe me or not. If you wish, I will drop you off at the port.
If you care less, Then that means there's some shred of caring inside of you.
I have no intention to kill you.
I would hope so.
Victor, I have a question. And be honest with me. How loyal do you think Chester is to the Inquisition?
Are you asking me or Icarus?
No, Victor.
Yeah, he said Victor.
Loyalty is utterly subjective based on the views of an individual. If he feels he is doing the right thing, then who are we to judge his loyalty?
Well, there is a right way of doing things, and then there is a wrong way of doing things, Victor.
He is the Inquisitor. He is the one who sets the rules, not us.
Victor, you get an inspiration point. But also not bad.
Of course. It was a foolish question. Well,
Unless we are all about questioning our Inquisitor's order.
yes. I'm sorry, Icarus, but should you have any further requests for information, I'm sure Lord Inquisitor Castas will be more than willing to help you.
I think that meeting will not be happening today.
Well, we're free to open a time slot for you during working hours from Monday to Friday.
With...
I have. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
I have one request. Should you honor this request, I will take you wherever you need to go. I will deliver you to your beloved Inquisitor. Your tech priest has some files that I need. Deliver them to me. And you may continue in whatever manner you wish.
Without him telling me, do I have an idea on what files he's talking about?
Do you?
I don't know. Can I put together what Icarus would be interested in?
You have all the information that I have based on what has happened.
Yes, but can I piece together based on his personality and what he's possibly after, what information that would include?
I think it's a little bit subjective, I'm going to say no.
Alright.
What
Kel,
information is this regarding?
I didn't quite hear that. I'm sorry.
Yes, what kind of information?
Information is this regarding?
Inspiration point.
Deruli's Apocrypha.
Deruli's what?
Deruli's Apocrypha. You would know that that is the content of the keys. You got that in your last briefing.
And why do you think I would be so willing to hand over the information?
Give me a second. Willing or not, makes no difference to me. I am giving you an opportunity. Choose.
I feel like we are stuck between a rock and a hard place. In one hand, we're dealing with the possibility that our Inquisitors coursing with Xenos. On the other hand, we are dealing with another Inquisitor shrouded in cloak and dagger.
I've been nothing but honest with you. I revealed my true name and my planet of origin.
What Ordo are you from?
He will answer Ordo Redicus.
Oh,
I nod my head. Can I walk over to the cogitator now? Wouldn't this be a good time?
Icarus, you see James detach from the belt. Rise up, a Kriegsman, brave. Their whole occupation is throwing themselves into death, the meat grinder. He walks brazenly right past you, over to the cogitator of the ship, and leans over to access it.
Okay.
is where is the nearest drive chute? Out of curiosity,
On the wall, above you.
I make a mental note of that.
As you see him make a report, it is not a report that is particularly interesting to you, Icarus, and then he sends it. That's all that happens.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't want to send it. I wanted to make a physical copy and keep it with me.
Okay. What do you do?
For what reason would somebody of your station be interested in the information that was on the key?
Because information in that key is imperative to reversing the conditions that currently exist in this sector.
What conditions do you speak of? We merely retrieved the keys to access information to stop the warps.
Exactly.
And you think that Caster doesn't have the same objective as you?
I do not.
Well,
This information has been suppressed for generations. I believe your Inquisitor felt that this information was about to come to light. I believe he has sent you to recover it in order to suppress it once more.
Yes, may I have a word with you?
And Victor will kind of pull his hand out and grab your shoulder and kind of nudge you in the direction of the back of the ship away from...
Nice. This is amazing, by the way. I'm blown away by your role-playing, Petri. Yeah. You follow along with him, I'm guessing?
yeah.
Awesome. So you're standing in the back of the ship. Yeah.
Why is it happening?
For us to divulge.
And he's gonna kind of try and attempt to talk lightly. This isn't something Victor usually does.
But if we are to divulge such information as what is on these keys, we do not know the consequences of this action. But there is also the consequence of being inactive and not doing anything that we would also have to worry about. If what he says about Casta is true, we cannot trust anyone.
My thoughts exactly. You've seen the recording as I did. No evidence of tampering. I am afraid that Icarus, or at least how some know him as Carius, has been more honest with us than the Inquisitor has ever been. I have a question. Do you even know why we have killed that noble lady? Other than conspiring against the Imperium, our Inquisitor needed video proof, pit proof of her death. Isn't it quite an odd request? Other than usual. I suggest that we should help Icarus. What do you think?
You keep forgetting the place, Gillis. We are knights of the Inquisitor. For us to debate whether or not the Inquisitor is doing the right thing is not within our pay. But I do share the same skepticism as you.
We are no longer talking about an Inquisitor. He removed the right of existence of an entire planet, Victor.
And do you
My
think
planet.
Yeah, he might have heightened his voice when he said that.
Nice. Nice.
Well, I have voiced my concerns on the issue, but we should leave it up to a vote.
By the way,
I
Victor
agree.
is democratic.
Oh, also, Callus is liberal, so he's okay.
The Imperium is not a democracy.
Nah, where did you get these
Democracy
ideas
is not
from?
negotiable.
Forbidden Lord.
Yeah,
Democracy.
definitely Forbidden Lord.
Forbidden lore, far left.
Okay.
Victor at this point is going to turn around after conversing with Callus, and he's going to look at the two other members of his.
Well, this is kind of inconvenient that there is an even number of us here. So I will get 2 votes.
I do not
Nice.
think that is very democratic.
But we must decide whether or not to let Icarus have the so-called information that we retrieved from the keys. This way, if something comes of it by giving it to him, we will all have our hands bloodied with the consequence.
And if we not, the blood still resides on our hands.
Why don't we see if he knew who this woman was that we had just recently killed? Maybe she's connected to this some way we haven't seen yet.
Well, rather than asking us questions on why we didn't ask him a question, maybe you should ask him a question.
So many questions.
I glare at Victor through my red
You're
tinted
stubborn
eyes,
as a...
and I say very calmly, do I seem like a social person to you?
He's a Kriegsman.
Do I know anything of
Yeah,
this person?
Kriegsmen are not very jolly characters.
I don't know, you could be smiling under that mask.
Kriegsmen have 0 chill.
They're not very chilled. They're not very chilled at all. Definitely.
Morton, do I know anything about this this lady they killed?
Rosabelle.
Oh, I have to take a second to think.
Rosabelle
you
de
would know.
Danse.
You would know everything there is to know about her. She runs Gunsa Industries. She's going to be replaced very quickly by someone else, and they export goods all over the sector. It's kind of a miracle drug. Cures everything.
Am I aware of
Sounds
any connection?
It sounds like a heretic.
Connection between.
The Inquisitor and the keys, and why they killed her?
No, not at all. She happened to be one of the nobles who acquired one of the keys. That's why she was murdered. That's your level of knowledge. Yep.
Well, that, and she also tried to fucking pull the wool over.
Yep. She tried to trick the Inquisition, which is a big no-no. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's...
I think this all comes down to a simple question. Do you wish to completely and blindly follow orders, or take action for yourself?
Why do I have...
But
I am quite interested in the answer to this question.
Remember, we are
We
expendable
are-
as acolytes.
I blindly followed orders once. I was rewarded with destruction of my own planet.
Keep in mind that if we decide to betray our Inquisitor, are we no different than the Inquisitor?
Yet you would assist a murderer. Having closing your eyes in front of possible heresy is the same thing as committing the heresy itself.
Very true.
I am not saying I agree with it, but I am just saying that we are not in an easy situation.
Then maybe we should straddle the fence. Let's just see where this new Inquisitor can take us, and see whether or not our own Inquisitor can exonerate himself of these charges.
It is, as he says. I mean, they do not expect us to go either way. We can find out information as we go. I mean, there's nothing against that.
I look back at this Ordo Hereticus Inquisitor and I say, will you stay with us on this journey to see whether or not our Inquisitor is truly a heretic or not?
Oh, I already know he is, and if you think I will put myself within his reach, you are sorely mistaken.
Surely you wouldn't.
I do want to say, as this conversation unfolds, this is getting closer and closer to the mutiny scenario I suggested earlier in the campaign.
Listen
That
to
is
the
true.
Psyker, I have no indication of anything else. Do it.
Callus would raise his hand, and either way, I am willing to relinquish whatever information that would help in Ikaru's investigation.
It is true. Even if you give up the information, the investigation will either exonerate him or condemn him.
Yes, this is true, but what do you know of our Inquisitor?
He used to work for him, at least that's what I know. He was an acolyte just like us.
And where's your badge of office?
I already pulled it out.
Oh.
When I think it was the tech priest claimed I was an acolyte, I pulled out my Rosarius.
And Callus would turn to Icarus. And by the way, I've heard in the reports there was talking about a mutation in the Psyker gene on the local planet. Are those true?
So yeah, you would know that that is the reason Caster Type blew up your planet.
Yep. That is the excuse your Inquisitor leaned upon to enact the exterminatus of my home planet.
Are you implying that it isn't true?
I'm implying that the exterminatus should require much more.
So you're saying it was unwarranted?
Perhaps it is my heritage that claims so, but yes.
Well, this is not a matter of heritage. This is a matter of whether one of one of the Emperor's own most holy Inquisitors is a heretic or not.
Really quick.
Yep.
Can I make a test to try and figure out why the Eldar would converse with humans to try and take out a planet of
To try to take out a planet of what?
Psykers. Because that's the planet that got blown up, right?
Yeah, but you didn't know that the conversation that went on was connected with that.
Well, that's the information I have. Is why would Caster Type I'm kind of putting pieces together that
Right.
I don't think the entire reason the planet got expunged was merely off his own decision.
Get it. I get it.
Do the Eldar, and since I have 3 ranks in Forbidden Knowledge Eldar, I know that the Eldar deal with the warp quite a lot,
Exactly.
but why would they want a planet of Psykers to be?
You want to piece together what the Eldar motivation could be for this, in short.
Yeah, if they were in.
Right. Do a Forbidden Lore Eldar.
Read.
Then you can do a logic test -30 because Eldari are
Easy.
dice.
Do it, Victor. Dab on this.
Damn.
Nice.
Damn, well done. Victor, you have studied this for so long. You go into your vast data archives, very deep within your mind. You close your eyes and you can feel the cogs moving. And as you sort of put the pieces together, and I need a moment actually to think about what I'm going to say next.
Okay.
Okay. I got a little to add to it. As an Inquisitor, I would never state that an Inquisitor's choices might or might not be heretical. I will, however, say that when one's choices are shaped and impacted by the desires of Xenos, that makes it heretical.
But how do we know that he is not playing the Xenos? It is not the other way around. You can't give us irrefutable proof now.
I can
So
only
why
give
don't?
you, I can only
Yes,
give you the
you can only
evidence that
show us
connected.
half of the side of what we needed to decide whether or not our own Inquisitor is a heretic.
And
So why
what do
don't you
think
give
he's
us the
gonna give you?
time? Why don't you give us the time to validate your information to see whether it is or not? And if it is, I think we can take our own Inquisitor down. But if it's not, we will come for your head.
My evidence is at your disposal.
Really quick, Victor wants to take another look at the hologram. By chance, can I see the mouths of either the Eldar or Caster Typh?
Good.
I am going to attempt to read their lips.
He's
Do
just gonna hand you a data slate with a transcript of the conversation.
Nice.
I'm that good, yes!
You immediately download the transcript in binary. The conversation between Caster Typh and the Eldar is about granting information on the hidden world. The Eldar is a traitor to his own. He talks about he's basically giving Caster Typh information on what the Eldar are doing in the sector, and that they are cooperating with someone high up in the among the lords on Juno. It's a rather long conversation. Caster Typh is basically wanting to get information on what they know about the world, what they know about how it ties into the heresy on Juno, and the Eldar is giving information on the movements of hostile Eldar in the sector.
And can I kind of cross-reference this transcript with the thing to kind of make sure that the lips are making the correct movements for the words in the transcript to make sure that it wasn't missing?
100%. Yeah, and you kind of read the gestures of Caster Typh to authenticate it, and it seems legit. The Eldar is referring to the texts as something that the evil ones of his kind want to acquire and want to hide from the humans, and he is trying to assist Caster Typh in acquiring them.
Hide from the humans?
Yes.
Nothing will escape Callus's sight.
Does have very high awareness.
No, but he has nothing that strips this one.
Inquisitor, were the Eldar that were waiting at the spaceport, Were they going to safely escort us, or are they planning to stab us in the back and kill us?
We serve your Inquisitor.
Defectors. Well, that's new.
Wait. Does this mean the Eldar that we encountered on the space station were also in cahoots?
Oh, that can't possibly be, because they killed one of us.
Yes.
Do I know anything about that?
You didn't expect us to have so many deep questions, did you?
No, but it all makes sense within the world, absolutely. No, Icarus would not know about that particular thing.
Okay.
At all. No. You were on the planet surface at that point.
I have no idea.
But I'm also going to bring this up. The Eldar that we just met referred that he specifically talked to us. Right?
I don't. What are you saying? I don't understand.
When the Eldar entity came out from the darkness and was talking to us, he said that I have talked to you previously. Does he mean us individuals? Because the only other instance that we talked to Eldar were fighting those three.
I will say word for word what he said because it is stored in your internal memory. I think you have a talent that lets you remember details of.
Well, it happened less than an hour ago. I think my character would remember.
Your intelligence is off the roof. To the roof. So. He said, "We have spoken before, in another form. We are unable to reach the Inquisitor directly. Tell him that we know the source of the corruption, and will reveal it if he does not stray from the path."
So, by other form, he means that he inhabited a different body.
That's implied, yes.
And if I recall, we killed 3 Eldar, so if I had to assume that somehow he was able to retain his consciousness and inhabit a different... Could that also be implied?
Can you repeat that? I'm not sure I understand.
Well,
Can you just say
do
simply?
I get... Do I have a feeling that what he was referring to correlates to us killing the 3 Eldar earlier and him being one of those 3 Eldar, or were those 3 Eldar just literally killed?
No, there's no connection between those things.
Okay.
Maybe this could be an Eldar we met on the ship. In our dreams.
Is a dream Eldar.
Well, remember when we got tested?
Yeah.
There is one Eldar that did talk to us.
Very unlikely.
In another form implied he looked different from what he looks like now.
Oh!
Yeah.
He did a disguise. Okay. Doc's gonna stand up, and my vote is until we have further evidence, our Inquisitor is exonerated of these charges.
Callus would move and say, the Ordo's Heretics' job is to put everyone under scrutiny. That means the Inquisition itself. I vote that the investigation should continue with the appropriate assets that are required.
I agree with Callus.
Victor,
Comes
where
down to
shall
me
you
and-
cast your votes?
I like how you said votes. The Kriegsman has accepted.
Rock, paper, scissors?
I would like to say that I am a man who seeks knowledge. And for there to be even an iota of a chance that the Inquisitor could be implicated in something of this caliber is worth willing to try and get to the bottom of. I will vote yes.
I look over to the Inquisitor and I say, you might want to drop us off at the spaceport. If it's an ambush meant to kill us, we'll fight our way out and come back. But if it's not, you'll hear from us very soon. And can I go back to the cogitator and write up some Imperial codes to give him to contact us?
Absolutely.
Nice.
The mutiny begins.
Before you do that,
Go ahead.
I just sent a message to you. Well, basically, the rear hatch to the ship opens.
Okay, yeah. The rear ship will open.
We will break atmosphere in approximately 2 minutes. That is how much time you have to hand over the codes. If not, well, I suggest you will have a very bad day.
Victor is going to pull out a data pad and start typing down all the information he has on the keys with his. I do not have physical copies of the keys. It's all stored in my brain.
Got it. Do you have an autoquill?
I can give it mine.
No.
Callus
Okay.
pulls out an autoquill and it immediately starts typing at superhuman speed.
Yeah, I just ran over the cogitator and I type in the Imperial codes to signal me, and I go and I yeet myself out the back of the dropship.
You have a parachute.
Yeah, I got a grav chute on still.
James is gonna. Oh, you had it from before.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, those things aren't like a one-use Betty.
So
Those are constant.
you see James sort of get down on the ground, immediately do a jump backwards. Do you do?
Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Well, James, you fly off the back.
Nice.
Chalice.
Imperium! Fuck yeah!
Chalice looks at Icarus for a second and says, yes, he usually does that. It's the second time you do this, actually.
Do I complete the trans?
It is.
Technically, you
It's
could call me an
fucking
addict
failing on the
now.
part of-
Do I complete scribing them in under 2 minutes?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
all written down.
I'm going to hand Icarus the data pad, and as he goes to reach for it, he's going to notice that there's kind of reluctancy in me releasing the data.
If we find out that you betrayed the Imperium of Men, you will see me again.
And then I'll release it.
Beautiful. Icarus.
And when you
get the pad.
Awesome. And when you determine that your beloved Inquisitor is in fact the traitor you accuse me of being, I will look forward to meeting you again.
And at that point, do you guys have grab shoot?
Oh yeah, we can take the grav shoots from the cylinder.
Do we have time to put grab shoots on?
if Icarus lets you.
Yeah.
That depends what Icarus does. I mean,
He turns around and walks away.
okay. Icarus opens the
Before
door.
I do something stupid, I'm gonna make sure this works.
Mm-hmm.
Got a grab shoot into it.
Are you done a Mad Lib?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, Morten, did you see what I wrote you?
Yes.
Alright, so
Okay.
Victor is just going to go to the open back of the ship, turn towards Icarus, and kind of give him a 2-finger salute from his top of his forehead, and this fall.
Who's left? Did everyone jump? Oh, Loden, you're still on board, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you'd see Callus take a grav shoot, and do you know how to put one of those in you, right? On you, right?
Well, I've seen them around the hive before, and I think I may be able to.
Okay, let me show you, and he assists you before he puts his own. And When you jump, just pull the red pin, okay?
Okay, understood. Easy
Okay,
enough.
you pull it like this, and he puts the red pin, and you are violently
Oh,
thrown
no.
out of the aircraft.
You fly out the back, Mither, and you just start slowly descending through the clouds as you see the ship hovering up above you.
We're gonna have to wait like an hour for him to touch the ground, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
gonna take a while.
And Callus would turn around to the fifth person in the room. That is not Icarus. He looks at the person in inquisitorial gear, typical uniform of the of Castor's ship, and says, "I believe you have something for me." And he receives a letter. He then says, "Then, from brother to brother, I wish you a wonderful adventure and to make the Institute proud." And newly and Stefan would also be thrown out of the aircraft.
Yeah, so
and
Callus is saying goodbye to Stefan, which is Octavian right now is controlling 2 characters, if that was confusing to anyone.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So one of the characters will disappear.
And he will stay on the ship with Icarus.
Ooh.
And he will face Icarus and say, well, to be honest, I don't really like Castus. You see, he put me through hell, and I really don't like to be lied to. I usually do the line, you see.
As you look on Callus, who's speaking to you now, one of his eyes is sort of twitching to the side, and you can see these kind of involuntary signs of, well, insanity and corruption on his face. He doesn't entirely look to be of sound mind, but he does seem to be telling the truth that he is intent on defecting.
Trying to think exactly what response he would have. You are welcome to continue this investigation under my command.
Thank you, Lord Inquisitor. As he takes a bow.
And you should know torture has... I understand torture has limited uses. Should you betray me, I will just end you.
I appreciate a vote of confidence.
I wish I could get inspiration points to you, no man. Jesus. That's amazing.
You can give me in case I have to fight a
That's
party.
amazing, dude. Amazing role playing, Nomad. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
That was epic
Yeah.
as fuck. I
Sorry.
enjoyed that. Like, I was
As-
just sitting back, like, wow.
If it helps, Lodan also has a juice box in the harness of his strap. It would be a very long fall.
Oh, God. I don't even know if there's any point in continuing after that. It's just gonna be an anti-climax.
What are you talking about? We gotta go to the spaceport now to see what these Eldar are about. And then realize that Callus has fucked us.
Let's do it. Let's push on. We have to push on. No matter if you have to go, thank you for coming on. That was
No, I
awesome.
wouldn't mind hanging out and just listening if you don't mind.
Awesome.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
awesome,
Plus,
awesome.
I gave him Imperial codes to contact me, so he could actually do that anytime he pleases.
Okay, guys. One day later, with the arrival in Port Mire,
Stefan finally dropped down.
No, Stefan lands like 1 hour later or something. But we get kind of zoom forward a little bit in time. Yeah, now you have one more exactly. Wow. That was amazing.
Should we do a D100 for the journey?
No, not at all. It's just 1 day.
Did
How
we
many days
walk?
does it take me to float the fuck down?
The vehicle was released at some point during the ascent. It takes a while with your tracker to find it. You do find it, and you manage to drive to Portmeyer. On the station, as you approach. 1 second. You kind of drawn to one architectural wonder from one to the next. It is a medium-sized spaceport built near a steep hill. Wild nature as everywhere else on Aventine. You see these synchronous elevators and cargo trucks moving up and down, smooth steel surfaces reflecting light from the sun. Everything is meant to impress. On the platforms, sort of on the landing pads, you see that they have been cleaned off. Monotask servitors are lined up against the side of the walls, no longer working on crates and repairs. Someone seems to have seized the entire spaceport. You get a little closer and kind of pull out whatever monoculars you have and look over on the people standing there. These are Inquisition agents, Inquisition ships. The Inquisition has completely seized the entire spaceport. What do you do?
You'd see the newly appeared individual that was part of your escort team taking a sigh of relief and saying, finally, friendly faces.
Now, do we see actually people from the Inquisition, or do we just see things telling us that the
People from the Inquisition standing around talking.
Victor is going to cautiously kind of just walk around, trying to get a lay of the land. He was kind of expecting something different.
Got it. No, you still see Inquisition members standing there, just waiting. Hey, your microphone cut out.
Yeah, you cut out.
Where is Gallus?
You'd see quite obviously Stefan looking a bit, trying to avoid your gaze as you say that question.
Everyone else is just going to accept the fact that we have been without Gallus for a day.
Well, the only likely conclusion is that he stayed with that Inquisitor if he didn't drop with us. Otherwise, he's dead.
I mean, I always did think he was incompetent. Maybe he didn't pull the grav.
Well, he did
Well,
mine.
I think maybe his time, those 2 weeks he was taken away from us, did too much to him, more than what he could handle.
I'm gonna try and hail him on the bottom.
Yeah, you.
Or
Nothing.
If you want to reply, you can do that.
Victor's
No,
ringtone goes off.
yeah. Typical machine cult chants. Yeah, nothing.
I'm going to keep calling Callus for the next 2 hours.
Yep. You keep calling him. Like someone just broke.
Nothing.
No.
You don't. Yeah, you don't.
Used and abused.
Used and abused.
As would it be quite obvious that you'd be calling Callus?
I mean,
Yeah, so you'd see this young man, Stefan, the one that has been with you this past week en route to the airport, be like, do not bother yourself with that traitor. His name has been stricken from the Institute's archives, and he has been declared an failure in the eyes of the Imperium at large. Whatever he does, it no longer has anything to do with the loyal subject of the Imperium. You can see.
So he has a
genuine hate.
termination. He has an extermination status on his name. Then
Well, I have been assigned to be under your command from now on. I've been transferred by the order of Inquisitor Caster himself. I did hear some commotion in the battery. I was with the pilot. I didn't hear a lot, but my current orders from the Inquisitor was to assist to be your escort and to then be in your command, and to also give Callus a letter from the Scola Progeria, known as the Peller Institute, that he is to be exiled and to no longer show himself.
so he's been excommunicated.
From the planet Lemnos, at least. I don't know if the Inquisitor himself had other plans.
What he decides to do with his life is on him.
I didn't hear that, sorry.
What he decides to do with his life is on him.
He should just shrivel up and die if he was a noble citizen of the Imperium, and you'd see Stefan spit on the ground. He sullied all of his brother's name. It is mere apps upon what was the station name? Morten?
Fort Myer.
With his vile acts on Fort Myers Station, incompetence isn't something that that the Inquisition and people with his rank should be taken lightly.
So just to clarify, we do have standing orders to kill him.
Should the Inquisitor decree so, yes. However, you not being associates with the Peller Institute, we'd suggest that you do not intervene.
I don't do this often, but I seem to have forgotten who you are and what your name is.
Oh, right. Yeah, yes. You'd see him standing to attention. Proven acolyte Stefan Peller, at your disposal, sir.
And what do you carry with you, Alkalite?
Yeah, you'd see him wearing. Oops, sorry, wrong character sheet. God damn it, I have to get used to that new character sheet. Sorry, guys. Yeah, you'd see him carrying a Militarum Tempestus uniform with stab automatic on his hip and Lemnos pattern bullpup autogun on his back. You would see also the uniform that screams Inquisitor retinue. No,
What is your rank inside the Inquisition?
proven acolyte, sir.
So you are beneath us?
Yes, sir.
I'm going
Good.
to call you Steve.
Steve,
Yes.
is this my code name?
Oh, Stefan is too many syllables.
I understand, sir. My code name is Steve?
Look, new guy, you're with me, so just get prepared and be ready.
Yes, sir.
So what are we particularly waiting for? We're just like waiting for a ship to take us off planet?
Yeah, I thought we were supposed to hit
I
some
don't know what you're
Eldar.
waiting for. Yeah. You gotta tell me what you do.
Well, I mean, the reason we
Bullying
were
the new
told that there were going to be ships to take us off
Yes.
planet. That was the whole point.
Yeah.
And that those
when
ships
you
would have
approached, you had a question whether or not there would be Eldar or an ambush, and I assumed you would want to pause in safe distance before approaching.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So you have to tell me whether you move forward.
Well, I told you I was taking in the lay of the land.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then-
Logan, do you feel any disturbances in the warp?
And I'm with
Do you hold out a grenade again?
Oh no.
So you're gonna threaten me this time?
Trick
Am I
question.
allowed to do it?
Citizens.
Let's see.
Nope. No war presence.
Wow, I'm really good at this though.
You
I do not sense anything around us.
Victor, do you spot anything out of the ordinary?
Do I spot anything out of the ordinary?
Nope.
Something is unsettling, but it does not seem anything is amiss. We should probably proceed to the ship and get to the Inquisition. He does not like to wait.
Agreed. Let's move out. And
I will head to somebody who looks important and have them direct us to the ship that is to take the throne agents off planet to the Inquisition.
Excellent.
And while Victor does that, I want to go and talk to the head honcho of this spaceport and get a manifest of all the shipping materials that are being sent off-world.
You get a full transcript. As
Nice.
you get on the transports, Tarek is with you, the Confessor. You are led aboard ships and fly off the planet back to the cruiser.
Yeet!
Okay, what all do I see on this manifest?
Of the shipments,
Anything
nothing
I would
that is
anything
of,
I would see that's valuable?
nothing that is of immediate importance. There is a lot of valuables being moved on and off the planet constantly until the spaceport was seized by the Inquisition.
Anything of military nature? Equipment per se?
That's going to be quite a while ago, but yeah,
Okay.
like a week ago.
Okay. I'm just gonna put this manifest in my back pocket.
Got it. As you slowly approach the Inquisitor of the ship, you are. Let me find the right thing here. You dock as you normally do. The ship is floating in the outer atmosphere. As soon as you arrive, you look out the windows, and a few more vessels land and attach to the ship. You assume that these are other acolyte parties that have been down on the planet. As soon as everyone boards, you look down on the planet and you get this feeling that you truly know this world now. you have seen the heresy that grows in its depths, and you have completed the mission that was given to you. As you move out of the air pressure vents that you have to move through, this is an ancient cruiser, and it has grown kind of like a city. There are endless subdecks, abandoned sections, collapsed hallways, empty decks. It's almost impossible to explore beyond the rooms that you're given, that you kind of navigate through these dark hallways. You reach your hangar. Everything there that you can imagine, kind of like there's a washroom, there are places to hang your clothes, places to store your luggage and so on. You know that there is an engine room, a hangar bay, and a warp drive pretty close, because you can feel the warp drive at night as your bunk beds vibrate. And from time to time you can hear the lady captain talk to the crew, and you can see servitors and crew kind of rushing around on the ship. Those of you who are specialty pies will probably spend time in the throne room further down from your cabin. You know Confessor Tarek. That is, two of you probably don't know him, but most of you do. You're also near the supply room, staffed by an ex-guard named Quintinius, who kind of handles your equipment for the next mission and so on. Whenever you're ready to be given assignments, you're usually called in by one of these three people: Quintinius, Tarek, or Archon. Archon, as you remember, Victor, is the tech priest, the chief tech priest on the ship.
With the weird symbiotic enhancement.
Your cabin is dark, black walls, rugged metal surfaces, and a small circular window where you can occasionally see distant planets and lights. And the cruiser flies off.
I want it to be clear, but I made sure that our van came.
Oh yes, you have your ship with you. Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank God.
Sitting there, you feel like you've kind of have this grenade shock. You're shaking. Some of you feel sick, almost like withdrawal from a drug, from everything you've been through.
I nod my head and I look at the rest of the group and I say, "Keep your spirits high, boys. Things will get better."
Hey, not to, be too prying, but I've heard some rumors. Is it true you fought the evil Xenos?
If you are referring to what I think you are referring to, the answer would be yes.
Oh man, you're legends between recruits. There's also this rumor, but nobody knows. Only the smart recruits know. Is it true that you fought your way through an entire military base just to upper hand a target? I've heard that you at least had to fight 300 guardsmen. An entire
Steve!
battalion. Yeah?
Steve! Shut up and go to...
You get an inspiration point.
You
don't even want to tell him a bedtime story?
There was once... I have nothing, guys, help.
Do I know a famous Eldar bedtime story?
Oh yes, absolutely.
I'm going to start reciting it in Eldar.
Nice. This sounds like a bunch of like ominous gargling. It's pretty terrifying.
Technolingua is very interesting indeed.
Oh, this is Eldari.
Yeah, but Steve
doesn't know
that. Stefan, which is now Steve, doesn't know that anymore.
The
This is
Stefan,
Imperial.
or the Steve formerly known as Stefan.
Amazing. Well, guys,
He was talking mad shit about my bro cat. He's on my shit list.
He was. As you sit here a little while longer, do any of you want to do anything before you receive the debriefing?
Yes.
Victor is going to spend all of his time fixing Felicity.
And Doc would like to first go and visit the Medicae deck, and then go on to the archives Medicae.
Okay. The archives is just beyond the librarium, and as you approach, you will find Tarek standing there. He turns around slowly as you enter the room. It is filled with candlelight. There are red drapes hanging from the wall. And he stands there. He's an older man, wearing a white robe. He raises his eyebrows, kind of not expecting you. What do you do?
I give him a nod of the head, and I continue to the nearest cogitator.
Ignoring him, you walk past him as he says, "Welcome, child," and you kind of just brush him aside. Walk over
Oh,
to
I
the
gave him a nod of the
cogitator.
head.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, perfect.
It lights up, and you enter the archives. What do you want to look for?
Okay, could I look up the manifests for regiments in the local subspace that are being maneuvered around or sent to different planets?
Can you repeat that? I got a message. I was distracted.
You're good. Can I go and view the inventory or the manifest for all the different Imperial Guard regiments in the local space that are being shipped to other planets, to other war fronts, and view their dispositions for the amount of men, materials, and all that they have?
Sure. You get that information.
Nice. Do I spot any regiments that are Death Corps of Krieg?
Yeah, I would say.
How many do I spot? Well, how many do I notice?
In the sector or in the subsector?
In the subsector. I wouldn't do a sector. That's too large a space.
There wouldn't be many, a handful.
Okay. So can I write up 2 Imperial codes?
Absolutely.
Nice. I'm gonna give you 3 rolls because I also want to send a message, communication back to the that one planet we just left for that ship. But let me go see if I make these. Come on. Here you go. Phew. Okay. 20 out of 49. Oh, they all succeeded.
Alright, what are you trying to do?
I just wanted to have Imperial codes typed up with a transference order for both those regiments of Kriegsmen. Just a transfer order, no destination yet. It's just the preliminary write-up for actually implementing this into the system for them to effectively be changed to where they're being sent to.
Understand. Okay, now I get what you're trying to do.
And the last Imperial code was sent back to the planet that we had just left, putting that ship on Aventine, putting that ship that was powerful enough to transport said stuff. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Basically under an inquisitorial right that no one can operate it until an inquisitorial agent.
Well, they can't operate it.
Yeah, basically they can't operate it until an inquisitorial agent.
Literally no one can.
Perfect.
They can't. It's not that they want, but they can't. Yep, they're gonna do that.
Okay, cool. That's all I wanted to do.
Awesome.
Well, also with visiting
I want you to do
the
a
Medicae.
command test minus 30. and then I want you to pay 1d5 influence.
Just see if this command roll works. Oof. I'm gonna. Well,
Whenever you play, type in plus. Don't use the plus sign. Just a number. That's what you did wrong, probably.
oh no, I put in a minus 30.
Oh, okay. You have 1?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, got it.
None of us are face characters. Why do you expect us to have ungodly amount of...
Oof.
Well, you're far along in the campaign, and this is a difficult thing. Yeah, you send the orders.
I. Oh,
Definitely. You definitely send the orders to do this immediately, without pause. Right.
oh, but I was just doing the write up. I haven't wanted to send them yet.
Oh, okay. Well, you write it up then.
Yeah, I just wanted to write up the preliminary stuff. I
Okay.
didn't want to give them a destination or anything like that yet.
Got it? Okay. Anyone else want to do anything?
Stefan would go to his ex-colleagues that freshly graduated to with him into trusted acolytes and boast about guys, you wouldn't believe to what squad I've been attached, and just boast about his new superiors,
Sick.
the heroes of or do they have a reputation for dealing for succeeding on Aventine?
Do they have a what?
Do the party members have a reputation about succeeding on Aventine?
Yes, you have a reputation for succeeding.
Yeah,
2
so-
times now.
So yeah, I'm basically saying, man, I've been attached to the most successful acolyte cell on Aventine. They're the ones who single-handedly, and just go on from there.
Is he our fucking fanboy?
It appears so.
Well, to new recruits, you're a pretty big deal.
To be fair, I did not hear of them.
Also, there has been, from what Stefan knows, due to recent events, the entire extermination of tons of acolyte cells, accelerated courses have been implemented to refill the ramps.
As you sit, kind of lay on your bunk beds, waiting for new reports, in the opening of the door, you're going to see a new figure appear. Very mechanical looking. Will?
So what you see is a mannish shape, standing up straight, stands roughly 6 feet tall, wearing some modified looking flak armor, and other than that you can't really see too much else of him because he's draped in Mechanicus robes that are not standard issue colors. They're this midnight blue trimmed with silver, and you see he's wearing his flak armor, and he has his face is bare. If you look under his hood, you can see he has 2 dark green dots that kind of glow where his eyes should be. And he's lugging what looks like a large gun case in his right hand, and he's very obviously he has a sword on one hip, an auto pistol on the other, and he knocks on the side of the door. He says, "Request permission to enter."
Are we all assuming that we're in this room?
For the purpose of this.
Access denied.
But he looks like you, Victor.
He's behind the door. I don't know who.
What is your business in a lodging?
Greetings, Magos. And Iota puts down the gun case and interlocks his knuckles in the sign of the cog. And after he finishes that, he says, I was told by the Inquisitor to report to your squad.
What is with this constant stream of new recruits? I'm getting tired of this.
I think you've been way too impressive. All the new people have been sent to you for training. I mean, I don't need it, but, you know.
Need a babysitter.
No training is required. This unit is effective.
This crushing sense of despair washes over Victor as he realizes he's the leading member of this group, and he does not like that.
He walks through the door, and he doesn't hold out his hand to offer introduction, but he says, my designation is IOTA 70349. There's no need to exchange names. I have all of your information inloaded. He looks at each of you in order, and he goes, Magos Mint, Acolyte Madsen, Acolyte Callus, Acolyte Logan.
Oh shit!
Greetings.
My name didn't change.
Nope, it did. Stefan, don't worry.
So.
Will you call me Steve?
I think what you mean is Throne Agent Doc. And yes, that's Steve, as I hike a thumb over my shoulder.
You're going to regret banishing Callus from the campaign!
Iota shakes his head and he says, forgive me, your designation is Throne Agent, Madsen. And that is Acolyte Stefan.
Perfect.
And Iota just walks in and finds an empty bunk, grabs up his gun case and carries it over there with him. And then once he sits down, he looks at all of you and he says, what is our prerogative?
That's where Callus used to sleep. Do you see the impudence of this newest acolyte, Victor?
You get an expression point, bro.
Damn.
Nobody will be able to fit the singular boot that he left.
No, they won't.
Surely you are overreacting as Stefan perks up. You don't possibly could imply any respect for that thrice-cursed coward, right?
I glare at Stefan. Yes,
you just
Steve.
tried to assume my emotional state.
It's not my place to judge my superiors, but I do believe that your not feelings but trust is misplaced.
I wanted to go on record that I didn't trust anyone.
Oh, it's true. He doesn't trust anyone. I've seen it.
Indeed. So you wouldn't mind if this new member of our cohort would sleep wherever he wishes, correctly?
You are right. Steve, give him your bed. You will sleep on.
Unfortunately, that would be against the standard issue modus operandi of the Inquisitorial Agent Handbook and Field Manual.
Is it?
Yeah.
I have read it.
He read it back to back. He even has a copy on. It's his mementos. The Inquisitorial Agent Field Manual.
Victor is going to take out the field manual, and you're going to see him just writing on it for a second, and then he's going to walk over to you and hand it to you, and you're going to notice that the section in which you're referring to has been scratched off, and it says everyone except Steve.
You... Typical of the servants of the machine cult to deface the righteous belongings of the Imperium.
I believe Callus is coming back to us.
Do not dare to associate my name with him.
You are speaking the same words he would have spoken. What do you mean?
Nice.
He's nothing but a traitor to the Imperial creed, to the Imperium's beliefs, to the Institute, and to the Inquisition.
Personally, I like him.
He wasn't always that way. The thing about humanity is we are prone to outside influences.
I cannot deal with you.
Doc is gonna lower his shoulder and charge
Amma.
Steve and tackle him.
Må du sette på radio
Oh
bak meg?
shit. Fuck.
Hazy.
This is drama. Take it 100. Okay, let's go. Let's go. What do I roll? Do we roll?
Oof, I failed.
Aren't you on a bed?
Ooh.
Tackle
Let
him
me-
onto the bed. This is going to
I'm
turn
gonna
into a
use
different
my-
Oh
game.
god, this is turning into Imperium erotica.
Oh, what are we
Oh,
doing?
boy.
I'm gonna use my inspiration. Damn it. I'm going to use a fate point.
Oh my god, do you really want me to?
Oh, Doc's. That's good.
I have the same luck as Callison.
Does he run into the bed?
Yeah, he base.
Doc
he's-
is gonna continue to yeet fate points until he has tackled Steve for his
Oh my
impudence.
god! Okay, I'm
Oh my
gonna
God.
dodge. I'm gonna.
You know it
I
takes
was
3
thinking of getting
sessions to
involved.
get them back, right?
4 sessions.
4.
I think his next session is the first. That's why he's chunking them.
Okay, you talk.
Yeah, I dodge. I dodge.
No,
I'm
I'm
okay.
gonna say Kriegsman is gonna fucking tackle you.
Fuck, fine,
Sorry.
okay.
I'm gonna, as I've tackled him, hold him down. Victor, make sure this isn't Callus in disguise.
I can already tell you that it is not Callus in disguise. What made you think something so stupid?
Did you just not hear the rhetoric he just spout at us? It sounds like Callus to me.
To be fair, that
mean-
is rather normal.
I was going to say that's mostly everyone in the Imperium.
Yeah, I don't think you've met many people, have you?
I look up
Is this
and I
how this
say,
maniple usually operates?
not many that are still left alive.
To be fair, I think this is normal for them.
I then get up off of Steve and I say, Steve, I'm sorry for tackling you. Just stop that rhetoric that you're using right now. You sound so much like a fucking heretic that it makes me want to tackle you and crush your bones.
I'm sorry, sir. I appreciate your vigilance. However, it is true that I am of the same. Well, I've partaken in the same training as your previous asset.
Oh, is that what that is?
Hmm?
Is that what that is?
Yeah, he has been trained in the same manner.
I smack Steve on the shoulder guard. You should have said so before, friend. As I help him up, I say, I thought you sounded so much like Callus, I was about to kill you. And I go back and sit on my bunk.
Well, if there's no any more disparaging feelings and that everything is put in its place, I would like to excuse myself, and you would leave the room to probably the closest bar. Yeah, he would gather with his friends on the ship.
Well, newer guy, I guess you could go ahead and take any bed that's empty. I don't think any of us really care. We just like giving Steve shit.
This one I've claimed is appropriate. Thank you.
So, you said your name is Iota?
Iota 70349.
What do you prefer to be called?
For simplicity, Iota shall work.
Excellent. I'm glad you beat me to that.
Victor was thinking about calling you Beat Boop.
God.
Wouldn't have responded.
So, Iota, what are you packing for firepower?
You see the smallest twitch of the corners of his mouth and what is probably the closest thing to a smile. That's really the closest thing to emotion that's crossed his face. And he stands up, unclasps the gun case, and inside is a Salamance pattern long lass. Matte black with, if you get very close, you can see just intricate, detailed inscribings, all in binary.
May I touch it?
No,
Whoa.
you may not.
Uh-oh.
You may look. He also undoes his right holster and pulls out his auto pistol and places it next to it, and you can see that it's in the same colors, same inscriptions. It's another Salamance pattern. And then he reaches behind his back, and you hear this like almost metallic trunk. And he pulls out from his back a macro stubber. It's basically a pistol with a fat drum mag and what looks like some cyclic cylinders around the barrel. And it's all in this matte black with binaric inscriptions all over it.
Doc
Also
nods
it.
his head and says, "What is this binaric description you mentioned? What is this exactly? What does this all entail?"
Various codes and patterns of destruction.
I look over, I give a quick glance to Victor as he is saying all these things, and I look to Victor and I say, "Is this stuff okay, Victor?"
I mean, why would it not? I highly doubt the Inquisition would let him on board if he was using anything he shouldn't.
In Technolinguist, I blurt. Can I blurt binary? Or
Yeah.
yeah, then yeah, I blurt out some binary to Victor, and I say, "I assure you, Tech Priest."
It sounds like a 56k modem. Mechanical squeeze.
I assure you, Tech Priest. All of these inscriptions were done by consecrated hands.
I'll take your word for it.
So,
did not.
Iota, what were you in your former life? A Skitari?
You see, kind of locks for a second, and as if he's like cycling through thinking. 16 years standard, joined Salamance Janissaries. 20 years distinguished service as scout sniper. Afterwards, chosen for enhancement, enhanced to the ranks of Skitari Rangers. Vouched for by Magos biologist Urek. Afterwards, I served another distinguishable 30-year term. And then after that, I was chosen as a candidate to be uplifted into a military clade. After passing, I was allowed acceptance into the Oculari Machina, the eyes of the machine. 41 years of service later, and here we are.
So, how much is left of you that is flesh?
See again the tiny, teeny tiny smile, and because you would be surprised. In all of my rebirths, I've been remade and reforged no less than 3 times, and this current incarnation is mostly biological, for the most part.
Then it looks like I'll be tending to you if you get injured. What is your blood type?
Oh crap. Real science called on. Just A. He just responds A.
As you
negative.
say, okay. I needed to know whether or not you were positive or negative.
It took him a second too. But yeah. He just nods and says, "I believe my training and background's sufficient."
Doc nods his head and says, "Yes. It sounds like you shall be an excellent fit into our group."
I should hope so. And He kind of looks at all of you and he goes, however, he pauses, I am unaccustomed to working in groups. The Oculari are usually single operatives, so forgive me if my patterns and routines seem counterproductive to a group atmosphere.
Well, don't worry. We shall let you know if it is. And we'll be sure to nip it in the bud. If you'd like, we have a combat deck and a dojo, if you per se or prefer. But we have a fighting chamber not too far from here if you'd like to test yourself against me blade to blade.
I would advise not fighting him. He can be a bit roused.
I have no intention of letting anyone get within Blade's reach of me. But thank you.
At that point, Victor is going to stand right up to the side of him.
You're not very good at that, are you?
So you say that, but one of my things is quick draw. So as you go, I guess if I could, I don't know if I should roll for this, but can I roll for my quick draw that I snatched up the macro
it's
stubber?
instant. It's instant.
Okay, then yeah, you say that, but then you kind of feel something poking you in the stomach, and the macro stubber is right there.
Go ahead, fire.
I nod my head, and as I see that, I pull out my grenade and I say, I can pull things fast too.
Oh god.
No! I'm so glad I'm not in there.
Your overconfidence will be the reason you perish in this line of work.
Yes, we are methodical in how we kill and operate as a team. So be sure that you see how we operate and try to mesh yourself in as best as you can as I put the grenade back into its little pouch.
And Victor will
not.
take a few steps back.
Wow.
Yeah, obviously after that, the macro stubber was already not aiming at you, and he puts it back on the bed, and he goes, I understand. I will do my best to comply.
Little did you realize Victor put a note on your back.
Damn it.
Boot me. Reboot me.
After a little while, a man with a black cloak is going to appear in the door. Slowly turning around, you see his two red eyes. He appears to be heavily modified. Heavy bionics. He sort of just knocks on the door.
Hello?
He just remains there, holding a data slate in his hand.
I guess
Victor
I'll
will
walk
just...
up.
No, there you go.
Oh, I was going to say, I guess I just walk up while the others are busy and then offer my hand out for the data slate. It's like, are you delivering something?
He leans in, kind of crouching forward. Arkon wishes to see you.
Oh.
Wait, us or just him?
All of you. Now.
Well, I guess we better go get the slacker, Steve.
And I presume Servo would come and while he was halfway. No?
What?
I think
would
he's
the
asking whether or not we get him or if the servo skull gets.
Yeah, would also Steve be there, or did a Servo Skull come and announce Steve of this?
Gathering.
Yeah, Steve is there. Sure.
Okay, so it's in the future. Okay, yeah. Then Steve would immediately make sure that his uniform is on point before he meets
Got it.
his superior.
You hear an audible groan as he notices what Steve is doing.
I think the rest of us are probably pretty scruffy. I know Logan is.
It is clean. Disgustingly clean if you look too close.
Excellent. As you enter Archon's chamber, there are shelves lined up with icons, symbols in honor of the Emperor. along the walls. A cogitator is projecting an image onto the ground. As soon as you enter, you're blinded by the crisp blue image. It's an hologram. Caster Typh is standing in the middle of the room. The hologram flickers as you enter. Every time it flickers, it throws intense blue shadows everywhere. And you're kind of blinded by it as you enter. You see Archon with his hands folded standing in the corner of the room, nodding as each of you enter, ceremoniously waving his incense back and forth.
Once Victor realizes that Caster Typh is inside the room, he's going to immediately kneel.
It is quite an honor, Inquisitor, to be once again in the prison.
He's gonna turn around.
Doc takes a deep bow.
Stefan would take follow for a second, would be stunned, and then would follow proper procedure for deleting his Inquisitor.
He has grey hair. He looks battle-hardened. He's kind of standing he has a straight back, and you're kind of taken aback by how much authority he kind of projects just standing there. He's tall, his armor is spotless. His insignia is beautiful, his medals, everything just kind of stuns you as you enter the room. He has a very grim and serious expression. He doesn't meet your eyes. You're unsure if he can see you or not. He's looking straight ahead at the door. Come in.
I will get up from kneeling and proceed.
He will look around the room and he will kind of blink, and you will see his eyes change slightly. Servants of the Emperor, you have done well. All of you. Thank you.
We were merely doing what was inscripted of us by yourself. We do not deserve the praise.
We have lost some of our best servants. We can never get them back. But their sacrifice will be echoed forever through these halls. He reveals... It looks like almost his illusion, the hologram is shifting slightly, and you see a giant hall behind him. Those of you who have studied your history will recognize this as the ancient halls of the Sector Lords on Juno. There are thousands of ecclesiarchy members behind him, lined up, banners waving in the wind. And you see the vision sort of zoom back on him. He seems to be standing on some kind of platform, a mezzanine, overlooking the parade or whatever else is going on. He looks back at you and kind of braces, gets serious again. Is there anything else you wish to tell me regarding your mission? Beyond the reports.
This is a tricky question. Because technically what went on with Icarus wasn't part of...
In character.
I'm just saying.
Anything?
Yes. Stefan would rise up and say, would Stefan have... no. Stefan would rise up and say that I'm sorry to announce, your lordship, that former throne agent Callus has defected.
He's going to wave his hand. We know.
I apologize for not being able to act.
He's going to kind of correct himself. Wait, did you say defected?
Indeed.
He forms
There-
a serious frown. To whom?
I have not met this person before, my lord. I have on the way back to the airfield. I've been with the co-pilot, making sure the coordinates were put in right. I don't know. I've only seen Callus and another figure.
His mouth is half open, he has a serious expression. Callus? No. I felt the presence of the Emperor with him. I know he couldn't have turned. Where were you when he betrayed us?
I am sorry, my lord. The stock presented to your Majesty from the Institute is very effective in that which has been designed. It can fool almost absolutely everyone, even almost everyone, with the exception of the Emperor.
He has a very focused look, and it looks like he's solving some complex algebra as he's just staring at the wall. Regardless, we must move forward. Anything else?
Victor has this is going to say. I'm chewing on something. Give me a second.
We also did cross paths with a specific Inquisitor that you might be acquainted to.
There are no other Inquisitors operating on Aventine.
Well, then I guess it was just my imagination.
Give me the name, Victor.
Icarus.
Give him his alias.
Icarus. He will just look confused. I cannot recall an Inquisitor named Icarus. Are you sure?
Well, that is what he goes by.
Did you believe him?
That question is debatable.
Debatable?
It is not necessarily that we believed, but more interested in the curiosity of what might come from the words he said.
He claimed to be an Inquisitor. Why did you not inform me of this?
We thought that you would have been well aware, because other operatives inside the Inquisition were aware of his existence too.
Write a report. Everything you know. Everything you saw. Every last detail. I trust you have it stored in your memory banks.
Yes, Inquisitor.
You hear a gong in the distance as loud chanting begins. Castor is going to walk off for a second and come back. Your mission is on the data slate. Anything else?
Nothing, sir. We will retreat back to our quarters and process.
He is immediately just going to look down at the ground. The hologram is going to end. Flicker, and with that, the lights are turned back on. The data slate contains a very straightforward mission detail, and you can kind of, it doesn't matter how you present it, whether Archon in the room or any of you read it. Archon turns back on the lumen in the room. It is dimly lit with an orangey glow. You see the Medicaid benches now, the vats with different biological entities floating in them, the strange limb that has been growing since you left it the last time. And the mission detail reads very simply. I'm just gonna read it and then we can copy it. That's it. Acolytes on Core Theta have uncovered additional pages from Dirulis Apocrypha, thought to be the keys that are fought over by lords in the sector. Dirule, an arch savant, interpreted the writings of the heretic Zadok in his Lay of Askellon before he was captured trying to infiltrate a hidden archive on Juno and buried along with his books. Dirule's texts describe that an ancient heresy committed by the sector lords on Juno somehow caused the pandemonium. The evidence and possible cure to this ancient heresy, they claim, is found on a lost world beyond the known borders of the sector, which was already populated when the first arcs arrived in the sector, before recorded time. A cult has since formed around Zadok's writings, and everyone from sector lords to the faceless trade joined forces to find this hidden world. Aliens present in Askellon have some interest in our investigation, for reasons yet to be uncovered. Your mission for now is to uncover the lost writings of Dirule, which, according to our sources, were acquired on Serix Magnus from an unknown source who had access to the archives on A010. More on what that is later. The mission detail is very simple. Find the responsible parties and retrieve the rule's original texts. Secondarily, a genetic strain from House Maimon is spreading on Serix Magnus, which apparently severs the deep connection people have with the Emperor and causes unknown mutations. There are also rumors spreading that the Emperor is a Xeno, along with strange accounts from supposed former members of the Inquisition that are circulating on the world. Investigate the phenomenon if you run into it, but focus on the texts. You are going to a forge world, the largest forged world in the sector. The Inquisitorial Cruiser is on the way there. There is a ton more information on the planet, on what the mission entails, and we can do all of that in text later. That is...
Can we get what you just said in...
Yeah, I'm gonna copy it. That is the session for tonight. Thanks for coming.
Yeet!
Woo!
Oh,